Hello, it's Leifa. How are you? We want to talk about Lionheart. If you haven't already seen it, then this is definitely going to be a spoiler alert. So first, we're going to start with the good. Then we're going to go into the bad, and if there's any ugly, we'll address the ugly. First of all, I thought it was a nice story. It was just a really nice story. It's a nice family movie for everybody to watch. Obviously, I love the production. I'm not really a Nollywood watcher, and the visuals were beautiful. I love the sound quality. The standard was just so high. I love a lot of the outfits that Genevieve wore. She's just very classy, very elegant, very you know. Thank God for the natural hair representation that she had going on throughout the movie. And I was like, yes, give me some of that updo. Yes, like she just looked beautiful. Great. Although I must say, I don't know if it's because of the TV I was watching it on. If you've watched it, comment below. For some reason, when I was watching it, the screen was off center, and the person's house like TV was trying to correct it, and it wasn't their TV. They were saying it's the production, and I'm hoping that's not the case. But comment below if you had the same instant where the picture was a little bit off center, because if everybody watched it like that, then boy, that's a D-. Also, what I loved about this movie was that most of it, they spoke, well, not most of it, but a large portion of it, like maybe 50%, 60%, I don't know. They spoke in dialect, and I just thought that was so beautiful. It was very authentic and true to being a Nollywood movie. Like the real Nollywood movies are not spoken in English, they're spoken in dialect. What I particularly liked about this one is that it wasn't a Yoruba dialect, because usually, generally speaking, whenever they have productions and it is in dialect, it's usually Yoruba, and it's just gets a bit like, if you're not Yoruba, if you don't understand Yoruba, it's very off-putting and it's not enjoyable. But not only did they speak in dialect, but there were subtitles. I do realize the subtitles don't translate the full essence of what they were saying, because they were speaking Igbo, but it was very easy to follow the stories. Yes, they would dip in and out of Igbo and then speak English. Because of the subtitles, it was very easy to follow the story, and it wasn't off-putting at all. It was still something that everybody can enjoy. So even if you're not an Igbo speaker, I'm not an Igbo speaker, it was something that everybody can enjoy, and it was quite beautiful to listen to the dialect as well. Now, how would I describe the movie? Like, some people called it like a feminist movie for Nigerians. I wouldn't go that far, but it might be a start. So basically, the story talks about this company, this transport company called Lionheart is going downhill. They're in a lot of debt. The founder of the company gets sick. So while he's sick, the daughter takes over. But she thinks she's going to take over, but then the uncle is introduced into the picture, so they have to work as a partnership, which she wasn't too keen on, but he's very supportive anyway. And within all of that, the shareholders of this company, they try and find a way to solve it themselves. So the shareholders come together, and they kind of almost like they're planning a coup against the founder of the company, just so that they can bring the company back up, because they're losing money, they're in a lot of debt, competitors are doing really well. And the end of the movie is that everything works out to be great. It's all hunky-dory. The company manages to partner with another well-known company in Nigeria, and happy-go-lucky, end of story, great movie. So that's the essence of the movie. And she is the firstborn, I believe, and then the son is actually, what's his name? Is his name Techno? The guy who sang, babes, what's that song? Driving me crazy. Hang on 1 minute. Ooh, penetrating. I just want to say, thank you, Jehovah, for my ghetto. Not from ghetto. Yeah. Okay, that's enough of that. Hey, Okay, that's it. He was the son, basically the daughter, the firstborn, who is acting CEO, or is she one of the CEOs of this transport company, but the dad is unwell. Now, the name of the transport company is Lionheart. I already have an issue with that, but we'll get to that in a minute. What I liked about it is that the uncle was actually Osofia, or is it Okwa? You know, the guy who did Osofia Comes to London. He is hell. If you watch Nollywood movies, then you know what I'm saying. And if you do watch Nollywood movies, then you could correct me on his name, Osofia or Okwa. Okwa Comes to London. He is hilarious. So when he came into shot, I was like, oh, this is gonna be juicy. The movie had a lot of big names, so that's a good thing, but that's also a bad thing, and I will address that later. Other than Genevieve, who is obviously the producer of the movie, had a lot of recognizable faces. I don't know their names because as I said, I don't really watch Nollywood like that, but a lot of old school familiar names, familiar faces, and big names in Nollywood. So it was jam-packed. It was quite full with stars. So he comes in, he is playing her uncle, and so you kind of think, oh, something funny is going to happen because it's the uncle. Maybe he will try and take over, but he doesn't. He's very, very supportive, and they work together to reach out to all of these banks to try and get a loan. So that's basically the essence of the movie. Should we just get into it? My first issue with the movie is that it's called Lionheart. I know it's called Lionheart because that's the name of the transport company, and maybe I'm missing something, having not really been brought up in Nigeria. That the names that they give to transport companies, like these heavy names like Lionheart and Dignified, and like these, that's a heavy name just for a bus company, right? And so initially you think, oh, it's going to be a great movie, there's going to be lots of intensity, it's going to be, you know, Lionheart, it's going to be impact, there's going to, you know, Nah, the title is clickbait because the title is not really what it is about. It's just the name of the transport company. There's no grit, there's no tension really. Already I was disappointed by I just didn't think that it should have that title. It could have been called, I don't know, Family Business or Family, I don't know, but it just wasn't a great title. I think it was great that you saw all these old school actors from Nollywood, that, like, really well-known names, and I wish I could give you all of their names other than, it reminded me very much of Hollywood. It just had that Hollywood essence of, oh, I'm going to throw all these big names in the movie and it's not a good movie. You know, that kind of thing. They just use the names to kind of draw you in. So is that the first thing, the second thing, or the third thing? I think that when I saw Ukwa, babes, is his name Ukwa? We finna call him Ukwa. I don't know what his real name is. But when I saw him come into scene, I got really excited. I was like, right, because he has so much like he's always doing comedic roles. I thought, oh yeah, he's gonna bring so much comedy in it, and his character was really disappointing. I mean, I thought, oh yeah, he's gonna be the uncle who brings trouble, and he really didn't. He was just a good uncle, you know, and I was kind of disappointed at that. I wanted him to do what he usually does when he comes into a movie. You expect just comedy, you expect him just misbehaving, you just expect all of that from him, and I didn't get it from this movie. I was very disappointed. When you see a comedian in a movie, you think the comedian is going to be funny, and he wasn't that funny. I think if we're going to even talk about comedy in the movie, I think that generally speaking, they missed a trick. They missed a lot of comedic moments that could have been like laugh your socks off funny. First instance, what I think of is when Ukwa could overheard the dealers. I say the dealers, they're not dealers, they're like the fraudsters. When he overheard the fraudsters trying to dupe the businessman, so they were speaking in Igbo, and the businessman didn't understand Igbo. He was a Hausa man, and Ukwa could overhear them, and he called them out in front of him, and that was a funny moment. But I just felt like the facial expressions, that scene could have been better. It could have been like hilarious, laugh your socks off, this is so funny, I need to rewind it and watch it again. It wasn't that. It was just like, because I was like, oh, I get it. I get what has happened here. This would have been the same money that Genevieve would have borrowed to sort out her family business. So it's kind of great that didn't work out, but it just, that comedy moment just wasn't it just wasn't funny enough. And another moment that wasn't funny enough is when Genevieve and Okwa were in prison and the guard said, my boss said, there needs to be a man and a woman. And they just had this idea like, oh yeah, you want a man and a woman, I'll give you a man and a woman. So they put another man and woman in the prison cells. That was a funny moment, but it just wasn't funny enough. But I felt like they really missed the trick there. Like they just kind of like, and that was like, they just kind of escaped by the not even by chance, by the skin of their teeth. It just, there wasn't enough drama and intensity in it, and that part could have been it could have been done so much better. They could have built up the intensity a lot more, and the comedic moment, because it was very obvious what was going to happen next, that they would put another man and woman in the prison cell, so it wasn't them. And you probably don't know what I'm talking about if you haven't watched the movie, but if you've watched it, then you get what I'm saying, that I had a problem with, that I was like, this ain't funny. The mother, oh my goodness, the mother in this family. So obviously it's the dad's family business, he started it, but I felt like the mother, there could have been a lot more character development with her. I wanted to see more of her, because especially if it's claiming to be this feminist movie, I don't know if it's, I've heard comments, people have commented that it's like a Nigerian feminist movie, which it really isn't. But the mother could have had more to say, because when the daughter questioned, she wanted to question her dad, and she would, she'd go to her mum and say, why is daddy doing this? And, daddy, and the mum would say, oh, your father has his reasons, da 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 da. Obviously, you could see the mother, she's well dressed, she's well spoken, you can tell that she's well read just by the way she speaks. This isn't a woman, she's not a village girl, she's well educated. And for somebody of that status, and who's that Leonard, to just say, oh, you know how your father is, he has his reasons, I just don't think, I wasn't happy. That answer just didn't suffice. Your daughter is the next in line, the father has, she could have found a way to she should have just explained it. I don't know why she didn't. Does she not have a say in the company? This is a family business. For somebody of that status, this woman, I'm talking about the mother, why wasn't she more involved in the family business? I know, yes, it's not her who started it, but I feel like if my husband has a business that is thriving or is like, I would have a say, or at least give advice, and say, oh, maybe have you thought about this? Like, the woman isn't a dodo, she's not stupid. Bringing her in like that, her character could have had a lot more development, and it was just too easy to be the mum who just says, oh, don't worry about it, he has his reasons. It just didn't satisfy me, it didn't hit me there. I'm just tearing this movie apart, I'm so sorry. The scene that when they were at the airport towards the end, and they're looking for the founder, this businessman from another transport company, to see if they can join heads and work together. It turns out that the businessman that Ukwa initially helped to get out of the dodgy deal was actually the son of the businessman they were trying to meet in Abuja. I felt like, oh, that's too easy. Yeah, I get it. It's a nice story to tell, like, always be kind and always, like, be careful. You never know who you could be helping, or you never know who you could be talking to. I get that. But I feel like it was just too easy. There wasn't enough tension in it. They just happened to be at the airport. It's the son of the man that they're trying to meet in the first place. They're staring at each other for a good how many minutes. Then all of a sudden they're laughing. Business deal is done. Bim bam bosh. Bob's your uncle, Peter's your dad's. End of story. Like, everything happily ever after. Would I have gone to see this in the movie? No. And if I had seen it in the movies, I would have been fuming. Like, you mean I paid money for this? I think for the type of movies that I like, there just wasn't enough suspense. There could have been a lot more character development with the mother, because especially with, the daughter being so level-headed and, so powerful in her own right. Like, who did she get that from if not her mother? Obviously, she might have got some of it from her dad, but I mean, it was just a little. I would give it a 3. I would give it 3 stars out of 5, just because I like the story, I like the production. it wasn't a bad movie, but it wasn't a great movie. It wouldn't be something that I necessarily rush to see again. Would I have paid to see it in the movie? No, because I'm not really a Nollywood watcher anyway, so I most certainly would not have paid to go and see that in the movie. In terms of like representation and showing Nigeria in a really good light and in so much positivity, beautiful, like really, really great movie. As I said, it just lacked so much. It lacked suspense, it lacked comedy. The comedy just wasn't enough. The storyline was nice, but yeah, the suspense just wasn't enough. It didn't have you at the edge of your seats thinking, oh my gosh, what's gonna happen next? So I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you've seen it already, comment below. I want to hear your thoughts, and especially if you are a Nollywood watcher, I feel like Nollywood watchers are gonna tear me apart and tell me, how can you not like this movie? Okay, everybody is entitled to their opinion. Don't shoot me in the foot. It's just how I felt. I hope you've enjoyed. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope I've described the movie well. It is worth seeing if you if you like Nollywood movies anyway, then you will enjoy this one. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up. It helps me out a lot. If you've made it to the end and you haven't subscribed, what are you doing with your life? Don't be rude. Don't disrespect the ting. Hit the subscribe button. And until my next video, think smart, work hard, make it happen. Bye.